Hello everyone, it's April 14th, 2026. Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Darrell Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Darrell Beck. I'm going to be changing my name to Brandon Stanley San Angelo, and today is April 14th, 2026. I'm making my website! I have a lot of updates, so I'm still doing I took a fat nap after work yesterday, and I woke up at 11. And in the meantime, I have a whole month of my medicine. So I have my daily vitamin, and I have my medicine. And instead of just doing it 1 week at a time in the morning, because I only take my medicine in the morning, I put it for the whole month. So every single day at the end of the week, it can just go down. And I'm going to have to make a record just so I make sure that I take my pills every single day, and then I take it at the same time every day. And I don't accidentally double up on medication, which I don't think I will do. I think it'll be easy for me to just do it every week. And then at the end of the month, I can just refill my medication, and then I can see exactly how much medicine that I have. Here's my Precision Neo glucometer. It's my Freestyle Precision Neo. I have a lot of alcohol wipes in here, and I only have two more of the stick things that I have to buy more of, but they're kind of expensive. They're like $20. And then here is my Lockbee. My mom bought it for me. She gave it to me as a gift because she knows that I really, really like taking notes. This is my graphics 0.5 millimeter lead mechanical pencil that I use. And here I got from my geometry kit, I got this small Helix Oxford ruler that I can use. Here are my two journals. My mom gave me this as well. And here I have a couple of songs. Maybe I shouldn't open it. This is PII. That I got, that I really liked, that I heard on the radio, that I want to request for Liveline. I got 21 Pilots, Stressed Out, Zara Larsson, Midnight Sun, Gorillaz, Feel Good, Montero, Lil Nas X, and MJR, The Big Goodbye. But here's the little tiny journal that it came with. Yeah, I just slip them in here. And then here I got some chores that I was doing. But this page that I have is for today, my blood sugars that I was doing. So I have diabetes. I have type 1 diabetes, and that's not a surprise, but it's severely unmanaged. I have an A1C of 12, which is insane. That's ridiculously high. And when my doctor told me that everything is good physically except for my diabetes. So I really have to hammer down and actually get my poop in a group when it comes to my diet. And so today when I was at work, when I was not doing the vlog, I was sitting there and I was researching. I went to the Diabetic Association. There is so much information about health. It's overwhelming. But the best place that I found today was the Diabetics Association, because you can save recipes, you can make recipes, and you can add it directly to your grocery list. And this is the grocery list that I made just as a practice to see if I could do it. And it's really, really convenient. So I'm going to start actually going through detailed and start making myself some recipes. I need to eat 3 meals a day, around 60 carbs for a meal, and I have to diligently check my blood sugar and make sure that I'm counting carbs. Today was a bad day when it came to food. Today was just a bad day, but it was a good day that I got some actual work done. I didn't actually mean to print this, but it was my shopping list. I got Glucerna and Men's Daily Gummy, which is what, well, I meant vitamins, but I wrote gummy. And I got that in here. There's a lot of medicine. So when it comes to my diabetic care, I'm feeling pretty optimistic, but I just have to stick with it. But I'm gonna start downloading. I have a lot of diabetes apps that I downloaded so I can track all my stuff, but for now I'm just gonna be using this mini journal just to make sure I'm actually tracking it. Because if I'm tracking it, I don't have a Dexcom right now. I should have it. Oops. I should have it pretty soon, but my Dexcom got discontinued, or at least the prescription did, and so I got a new prescription for my Dexcom, so I'm going to be getting those. I should have them any day. But I have an appointment with the endocrinologist this week, so I can actually talk about why my diabetes is so unmanaged. Here's a fake spider. I'm telling you so I don't accidentally scare you. My son found this and he kept it, but now it's just laying here. I had a pretty good productive day, but also my sleep schedule has been so bad that I need to manage that better. So it's midnight 30 right now, and I am going to be going to bed even though I slept all day, just so I can try to get an early start to the morning. The goal is I want to start waking up at 8 and forcing myself to stay awake, because if I get up at 8 and I actually stay awake, I have a pretty good day. But getting up is so tiresome that once I do my morning chores, I just go right back to bed, because I don't usually have any work to do until later in the afternoon. So I'll wake up, feel exhausted. I'll wake up and feel pretty good at 8, but I'm still like, what else is there to do? So I'll go back to bed, and then I'll wake up feeling groggy. And so the plan is I'm going to just start trying to wake up at 8. I have to go to library tomorrow morning, or I guess this morning. And I have work. I have a full day of work at the radio station, so I'm really excited about that. I really enjoy radio station. I've been having a lot of fun at the radio station lately. I've been really invested in radio. Was it, I think 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, the Sioux Greyhounds won I think it was the second to last game in the first series of the playoffs, and they beat the London Knights. And Natalie and I were listening to the radio, and I didn't want to stop listening to the radio, but I turned it over to Yes FM, and Liveline was on. And I've heard Liveline with Mason Kelter, but I've never actually tried calling in, and so I thought it would be fun to get Natalie on the radio. And so I turned the radio on, and then he plays a sound, and I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll try to get a song. And then Natalie called in, and then Mason answers the phone, and he's like, what's the secret sound? And she wasn't expecting that. She wanted to request a Mariana Cross, but they didn't have it. But he was like, what's the secret sound? And then she was like, is it this? And he was like, nope, try again. And then like the adrenaline of calling in and getting Mason to answer was fun. And then we called later, but I don't remember if he answered or not. No, I called again later, and then he answered, and then I guessed the sound, and it was a drawer closing, and that's what I said, except it wasn't specific enough. And so I was like, oh, I gotta win. I gotta get this mouse pad. But I wasn't close enough. And then like I had like this idea is like, oh, I gotta have fun, and I gotta win this mouse pad, this Mason Kelter mouse pad. And we've been trying to call in for the secret sound. I took it really seriously. And I called in 2 days ago, and Mason played the Secret Sound, and it was just right after the Greyhounds game, and so I hadn't heard the sound at all throughout because I was listening to rock. I wasn't listening to Yes, and I played the Yes. He played a turkey sound, and then he played a sound of sucking, and I know it's silly, but I didn't connect the dots. I think maybe subconsciously I did. He played a turkey sound, but I don't know why it confused me because for whatever reason, I don't know why a turkey sound and like this weird sucking sound had anything in common. But the first thing that popped in my head was a turkey baster. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it was definitely that connection that my brain made. I wasn't actively thinking about it, but I guess I made that connection. And the second I heard that sucking sound, I was like, oh, that's a turkey baster. So I called in right as he started the spots. And then he was like, what's the secret sound? I was like, is it a turkey baster? And he was all like, yes, you're a winner. And then he was like, be honest with me. If it wasn't for me playing that turkey sound, would you have gotten it? And I was like, it wasn't the turkey. It was the sucking sound. He's like, you're not you're familiar with sucking. I was like, oh, I'm not a stranger. And he said, okay. Well, I was a little embarrassed, but I really now that I won the secret sound, I'm not gonna call in to Liveline except maybe to make requests for the songs, just because well I can't win for another month. But I won. I did what I set out to do, and now I'm gonna let everyone else play, because the last thing I want to do is I want to overextend my welcome. It wasn't about the mouse pad. It was just I really wanted the satisfaction of getting it right, and I did, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm really interested in radio lately, and my father was in radio my whole life, and I never really took it seriously. And right now I'm working at the radio just like as a part-time thing. Not really a serious radio position, just until I can get my footing over in Canada. But today, when I was at work, I got to do a prize giveaway. And I felt like Mason using the phones. I was like, Rock 101, you're caller number 1, try again. Rock 101, you're caller number 2, try again. And then it was 6 was the winner. And so it was like, you're caller number 6, congratulations. And then I took his name, his number, and blah, blah, blah. And it was fun. I really enjoy radio. Now that I say that out loud, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to win Liveline, because Yes FM is a syndication. It has a syndication. Liveline syndicates with Yes FM. I personally don't have any affiliation with Liveline or Mason, so I don't think I would be not allowed. Maybe I should have thought of that before I called in. I didn't think about that. But if I'm not allowed, then I will humbly send back my mouse pad when I get it. I don't want to break the rules. I got some toys here. This is from... my mom got this for me. They're the pig jumps. You're supposed to have one pig out, and then you have to jump the pigs. So then you jump, and then you take the pig out, and then you just keep making moves. My mom bought it for me because right before I went to the military, the night before I was about to get shipped out to training, I was just haphazard. She took us out to Cracker Barrel, and they just have them on the table, and I was just mindlessly... I was nervous, I was scared, and I wasn't really thinking about the puzzle, but I did the puzzle, And she was so impressed, and she was like, this is a sign. This is a sign that you're going to do good in the military. And I was like, okay. She got this for me, and I think it's cool. I haven't solved it since, but I've never really tried. This is my 1x3x3 fidget spinner that my sister got me for Christmas a couple years ago. It's fun. I'm going to give it a quick solve. I'm just going to randomly mix it up a little bit. It's not the best turn, but it's not really a very difficult puzzle. So what I want to do is I want to first get the colors, the centers, which is really simple, and then I'll, I guess, flip these. Okay, well, there you go. Maybe I could have scrambled it better. This is my stickerless and my stickered Diane Megaminx. This is the first version of the Diane Megaminx that came out, and this is my favorite puzzle, even though it doesn't really turn very well. It turns very well for what it is, but obviously there's better cubes out now. And this one is the stickerless version, and I think the Megaminx is my favorite puzzle. The only difference between a 3x3 and a 3x3 dodecahedron is obviously it's the same puzzle, except obviously there's 12 sides and then there's only 6 sides. So you're going to be doing the same moves that you would do with the Rubik's Cube, except you're just going to be doing more of them. This was the very first puzzle I learned how to solve by myself, and realistically they're very similar in solving methods. The only difference is the last layer, where you're going to have to insert a few extra moves. This is my Penrose cube that I have. I forget what the brand is, but I saw it on Cubicle when I had money, and I had it in my wish list for so long, and finally I bit the bullet and I bought it. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy this puzzle. There's 3 sides, or at least 3 sides, and they wrap around. So you got red, white, and blue, and the red wraps, the blue wraps, and then the white wraps. But then you also have pieces that are identical to each other. So let's see if I can find an example of that. You have this red and blue piece right here is identical to this red and blue piece. And so this cube, you can solve it correctly, and at the very last layer, you can have a parallel edge, a parallel corner parity, where these 2 corners here are, let's see if I can make the case. So let's you have these 2 that are correct, and then you have these 2 that need to be swapped. No, that's wrong. Let's see. Put the 2 in. And then you can make the case by doing this, and then you can. This is testing my beginner's method knowledge. Jeez, okay, so I feel like if I had actually gotten the parity, it would take me a second to actually think about how I would want it. Trying to solve parity on camera is really nerve-wracking, but I'm getting a better handle on the actual mechanics and the autonomy of, anatomy of the actual 3x3, which can help, especially with puzzles where it's just a regular 3x3, but then if you were to open up the inside, you could actually see the color on the inside, and then you can actually watch and see how the pieces move and interact with each other. And then there's also a lot of different, not necessarily solving techniques. There are a lot of different ways you could solve a 3x3, but there's a lot of different ways to interact with the cube and to understand it. So you could theoretically just solve it based on intuition, not necessarily with a fundamental knowledge, where you don't necessarily. I grew up with the Friedrich method, which is now CFONT method, but then you could solve it in different ways based on the knowledge that you have, especially when you're working with bigger cubes, like the 4x4 or the 5x5, and then you are starting to run into parity instead of not knowing. Instead of just following rules, following the steps of how to solve it, you'll actually be able to figure out how to solve parity on your own. And I think that's really interesting. I'm getting a better concept, a better grasp on actual anatomy. I think the 3x3 is really interesting. I've always been really interested in this puzzle, but that the way that the pieces interact with each other, and it's a physical, mechanical puzzle that I can just absentmindedly mess around with. Let's do a quick solve. I know. Okay, wait. Actually, let's do it this way. This doesn't count. This is not what I want. This doesn't count. So don't get mad at me for solving it slowly. Don't get mad at me. Don't laugh at me. Okay. Okay, let's try to... Do I have my cube timer in here? Oh, shit. Do I have a cube? Let's download one. I like cubetime.me. Rubik's Cube Scramble Generator. They're all... Okay. Sorry. Okay, this is a scramble. LIUIDI BIR2 BIRD2 BF2 L2 UIDI B2 L2 B2 DR2 L2 B2 D2. And I don't think I did that right. I did it wrong. This, if you wanna, that's the scramble. If you wanna take the time to figure it out. Okay, let's get my timer out. This is gonna be, so 6 seconds to look, so I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, let's get this in. I always freak out, especially at the first pair, because that's like the one with the too many. Okay, don't laugh. Okay. Don't laugh at me. Ah, 50 seconds, that's awful. Okay. I could do a better job. Hold on, one more. Give me a new one. And I'm gonna scramble it correctly. U L2 B2 L2 U B2 R2 D U B2 R2 U B I D I F U R D2 B L I U. Okay, so that's the scramble. So let's try it again. Reset. I'm gonna put my phone up like this. Okay, 6 seconds. Okay. And go. I should have done this better. I should have looked better. $51 seconds again. Okay, alright. I'm rusty as hell. My official PB on a 3x3, official because it happened in competition, is I think 36 seconds. And I always wanted to solve the Rubik's Cube in less than 30 seconds, so I got some work to do! But I think that's going to be it for today's vlog, everybody. I hope you had a good time watching me play with my toys and talk about how unmanaged my diabetes is. I'm taking it seriously. I'm going to get my diabetes under control. I'm going to stop binge eating. I'm going to stop eating to the point where I get sick. And I'm going to eat 3 square meals a day. I'm going to track my bolus. I'm going to track my BS. And I'm going to track my A1C. So I'm gonna read before bed, and then I am going to go to bed and wake up at 8 tomorrow. So today, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye, everyone.